Happy Monday, everybody. For all you gardeners out there, we've made it one weekend closer to planting time. And for those of you who are living in a warm climate and already planted, I'm jealous, but can't change what is. I just have to wait for my turn. I realized we hadn't looked in on my European night crawlers in quite some time, so that's what we're going to do today. Since my last update, I've taken them from their individual bus bins and moved them into this 35-gallon storage container. I'm taking the same approach with my Euros as I am with my African night crawlers, which is to put them in one big, deep, large container instead of individual breeding bins. And I'm doing that because I want to mimic their natural outdoor habitat the best I can. And, well, night crawlers dwell deep, they live deep, they come to the surface to feed, they come to the surface to poop, but they prefer to be deep if they can. Now, this isn't full, obviously, and it's not very deep at this point, but over time, it's going to accumulate. So I do have the camera on a tripod, and I am on the opposite side of the screen, so I can't see what I'm filming right now. So hopefully you're seeing this. This side right here, we're looking at right here, this is mostly completed castings. I expect there to be some worms in it. I haven't actually baited them out yet, but I have been feeding down the other end for a while. So we shouldn't see as many worms down here as we will down this side here. I've been just adding the food down there lately. So let's just take a look at this. Overall, I just want to show you the castings, and hopefully you're getting a look at this and what the castings look like. They're very rich, they're very earthy, they're very loamy. I'm always so, I don't know if the word is intrigued or impressed, but whatever the right word is, you know, worms take whatever it is we provide them. Here's some tape from an Amazon box. But they take whatever we provide them, right? They eat it and they poop it out. And it turns into this most amazing product that is beneficial for so many things. It doesn't matter what we give them, whether it's cardboard or a watermelon. The results are the same, and it's beautiful. So I'm seeing worms, of course, as I would hope to. I don't see a lot of big worms right here. I'm seeing a lot of juveniles, and I'm seeing cocoons. Now let me see. I did lay a layer of cardboard along the bottom of this before I dumped the bins in it, just to help maintain moisture and to give the worms at the deeper level one extra thing to munch on. I don't expect that cardboard to last very long, and that's fine. Here's some more. You can see it stretching. This is more tape, that Amazon tape. It gets gooey and stretchy, but it's not deteriorating as well as I had anticipated it would. Seems like the worms get so far in it and it gets gushy, like stretchy, and then they steer away from it. Let's see if I can bring this up close here. You can see there's two cocoons right there. One that's light in color and one that's darker in color. One is closer to hatching. So these worms are doing a really good job at reproducing. I have noticed, hold on, these two just fell into my hand. I don't know. I hope the camera's picking this up. Let's see. Come on, camera, pick this up. There's two cocoons that just fell into my hand. My initial observations here is there's a lot more cocoons in here than I had seen when these worms were in my bus bins. And again, this is the finished end. So I'm not going to see the massive amount of worms, but I'm seeing a lot of juveniles and a lot of cocoons. And those are both what you want to see in a worm bin. And I plan on harvesting most of this end of the castings. Maybe even today I'll do some light harvesting because I am starting seeds, and castings are a big part of my potting mix or seed starting mix, so I will need it. All right, now I'm going to, let me see, can you actually see down here? If the camera would stay in focus, it would be so much better. Let's see. All right, so if you can see my hand, yeah, I can see my hand. Okay, down here is where I've been giving the food and feeding the worms. There should be more worms down here and bigger worms down here. A piece of tree. Okay, not quite sure about that one. Okay, so you can see it's dry. There's a lot of leaves. This end doesn't have the moisture. This end does. But I had fed a bunch of moist food not long ago, so I'm surprised it is as dry as it is. But also it's not very deep right there. Crunch up the sprouts. Let's continue on. So right away you're seeing handfuls of worms. Very nice, healthy looking worms. And it looks like, despite me giving them a good feeding not long ago, other than some leaves, it looks like they've eaten their food again. So maybe they're eating more in this bigger system. I haven't had them in here long enough to really determine that, but this lack of food, or complete absence of food, I should say, is, here's another handful, is telling me that they're eating more because they never went through that much food in the past. There's some purple paper in here. They're decorating for Easter already, I guess. But see all the juveniles? The adults are looking really good too. I mean, they're not the fattest Euros in the world, but they're really healthy looking. They have very nice visible bands, and they're breeding very rapidly in here. So yeah, I'm happy with what I'm seeing. Let me dig a little bit more over here and just kind of flip it, because I know there's a lot more worms in here than what we're seeing. And that is one of the things with a deeper system, is it's not just a 5-inch thick or 5-inch deep bus bin. Got to dig a little more to get you to see what I'm seeing. And I'm actually going to zoom in, and I'm going to plop some worms over and just put them right here, just underneath where I've been feeding, which clearly needs to be done again. Kind of let you see some of these worms here. I'm seeing a lot of cocoons, a lot, like a huge number of cocoons in here. So maybe this extra room has triggered that behavior. All right, well, they look really good to me. So I'm gonna just scoot around the outside edges and pull it in for you. And as you can see, the castings are done. I mean, there's a couple of woody, sticky type things in here, you know, very, very slow go things that would take another 6 months, but those I'm not concerned about. He's a nice, healthy looking guy. Girl guy. Worm. Just worm. Alright, let me get over here. Yeah, so I'm seeing no food at all. Some more of that Amazon tape that doesn't seem to break down. It turns like, I don't know, it just turns stretchy. It gets really gummy. There's the word. Again, just some more examples of what the worms are looking like in here and their coloring. And yeah, all of them have visible bands. They're doing really well. So all right, well, it looks like before I go ahead and feed this bin, which I was prepared to do right now, I am going to put a light over them and get out a bunch of these castings, because what I'm seeing is a lot of finished castings, some unfinished bedding that I will put back in after I do some sifting. And yeah, this will go right into my seed starting mix. I have several buckets now. I'm very pleased with how much castings my worms have made over the winter. They've done an exceptional job. And my only lesson for this winter of having this many worms in the house, because this is the most I've ever kept in the house over winter, is I need to bring in a lot more scraps from my garden. Although I haven't completely run out, it's close and it's still very early in the year. So, but fortunately, me, the worm mom, often buys vegetables for myself that I don't cook in time and they go bad and they end up in the worm bin. So I guess the worms are lucky that I get lazy sometimes, because they get to eat. They get to eat. I only buy organic vegetables for myself. I'm not comfortable with pesticides, just a personal choice. So what these worms are getting is also all organic. I was trying to get down to see, I said I had cardboard down here. I wanted to see if the worms had gotten under it, and it looks like they have. Here's a scoop from under the cardboard. I'm seeing again cocoons, worms, a little bit of unfinished material, not a heck of a lot, and some very high quality castings. All right, well, my intention with this bin is to not harvest it completely. It's going to kind of be run like Anne over at Plant Obsessed. She has a 55-gallon bin that is cut down the middle, and she feeds at one end and harvests from the other. I plan to operate this that same way. I guess she refers to it as the wedge method. I'm sure that's what the correct term is. So I want to do this the same way. I'm going to do that with this and with the 45-gallon container that my African night crawlers are in, because I think it'll be a lot easier than just loading a bus bin, letting them finish it, and harvesting all the castings and starting over. This way you're never really completely finishing or starting over. It's just ongoing, and I think, less upset to the worms. And maybe upset isn't the right word, but if I'm just taking some out and adding some in, it's a steady process, right? It's like a horizontal continuous flow through. I think when you go ahead and bait all the worms out, take the worms out, or take all the castings out, whichever you do, and fill it and start over, the worms kind of have to reacclimate before they get into heavy feeding again. So I just think that the way of not always totally taking out either the worms or all the castings just seems to make more sense. Seems to be a better way to go. It's what I've been doing lately, what I'm going to try to continue to experiment with. So, all right, well, if you have any comments, please leave it below. If you have any questions, please leave it below. If you enjoyed this content, would you please give me a thumbs up? I'm trying to boost my channel count so I can do some lives and some polls and some other things, and I need more subscribers to do that. And on that note, if you know anybody that is interested in worms or would like to learn about worms, or that already knows about worms and can teach me, please share my channel. I would greatly appreciate that. And on that very last note, I want to say thank you to those of you who are here and already offering your support. It means so much to me. Without you, there would be no point in me doing this. YouTube channel is only as successful as the quality of its viewers, and you, the viewers, are very important. So these guys here say thank you. Have a great day, everybody.